y'all? It's your girl, Rikki McCoy, and welcome to another episode of the Therapy with Rikki podcast, where we talk about real conversations that you can feel. How are y'all doing? How you feeling? It's Friday where I am, Friday morning in Atlanta, Georgia, and the sun is shining. And I'm just really happy to finally be in spring, right? Finally be in full bloom with the weather changing and the sun shining, out of any seasonal depression. And I feel really, really good. I'm back, y'all. I have taken a small break just to rest, just to refuel, just to energize myself. I do strongly believe in resting, pausing, reflecting, receiving whatever downloads I need to receive from God, from Spirit, from the universe, so that I can just make sure we're talking about real shit, make sure we're talking about good topics, good things that I feel we all can relate to. We all are out here adulting, out here going through life, y'all, and yeah, I want you to know that you're not alone. So happy Friday. I hope you are well. If you're not, I hope your day gets better. I hope you find a way to really find some joy and find some gratitude in your day, in waking up this morning. I am back for another good topic for us to talk about, and I have just really enjoyed my break. If you follow me on the gram, if you keep up with me, I have been traveling. I have been doing the things. I had spring break with my son and my family, and then I had some girls trips, some hot girl trips, and I just been living my life. I've just been taking a moment to be present and fully immerse myself in living, right? If you're new, welcome. Please share. Please take a moment to rate, subscribe, review, all the things as we keep the podcast rolling. Today we're going to talk about how to tune into your emotions. This is such an important topic for me as a therapist, because that's what I do every day, all day, is I help people learn how to even acknowledge what it is that they're feeling, right? So often we're just on the go, y'all. We're busy, we're nonstop, we're moving. We aren't really taking the time to pause, to reflect, to sit with ourselves, to really be honest with ourselves. Let's talk about honesty, right? We really aren't taking that time to be honest with ourselves about how we're feeling. And so I want to get into today why it is important to tune into yourself, why it is important to acknowledge how you feel so that you can live your life to the fullest ability, in your truth, in who you are, and just owning that you do have feelings, right? Owning that we are human. We are not robots, y'all. We are human. We have emotions, we have feelings, we have reasons of why we feel what we feel. And so I want to talk to you about how to tune in, okay? First and foremost, you gotta slow down, right? You have to be able to disconnect. You have to be able to pause. I know a lot of people who stay busy intentionally because it's in that moment of pause that their feelings come up, right? And I want you to think about this. I want you to remember this. This is something that I talk about in therapy all the time. It's not that you have emotions, whether they are good emotions, right? So happiness, I'm excited, I'm looking forward to something, or the not so great emotions. I hate to label them as bad emotions, but that's what society calls them. That's how we feel like they are. It's not that you have good or bad emotions. The fact is we need to know what to do with the emotions when they come, right? The discomfort that we feel is in knowing or acknowledging that we might not feel so great, right? And acknowledging that we may feel not so great, not so happy, not so at peace with what we're doing in our lives. So I want you to remember that the discomfort is temporary. You got to learn how to sit in it in order to work through it, okay? I need y'all to slow down. We got to slow down. And let me just say, me as a therapist, of course, I need you to slow down, but you need yourself to slow down. This is your personal journey and your personal experience. If you want to be real with yourself, if you want to live in your truth, slow down. Slow down. Acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge if you aren't at peace. Acknowledge if you know a situation, a relationship is not serving you. It's okay to acknowledge so that you can figure out what to do to live in your truth, right? So that you can figure out what you need in order to feel at peace with who you are and where you are on this life journey. There are a lot of people-pleasing people, right? A lot of people-pleasing behaviors that we do. A lot of times we're living our lives for the approval of somebody, whether it's our parents or partners or friends or whoever, whatever. We've learned somewhere along the way that we need to work for this approval of people. We need to show up a certain way to be accepted. But we don't. And so I want you to remember that it's okay to slow down. When you feel that discomfort in your emotions, I want you to be able to name what you're feeling, right? I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxious? What is it that's making me feel anxious? What's happening in my life right now? What is it that I don't feel secure about? You need to name what you feel, right? And then once you name what you feel, I want you to be able to tap into what you're feeling physically. Trauma, life experiences, maybe not learning. There are so many reasons why a lot of us are not in tune with our bodies, right? But the mind and the body is connected. And so I want you to pay attention to how your body feels when you're feeling a certain type of way. For example, with anxiety, I know that some of the signs and symptoms of being anxious for me is that butterfly feeling, right? Like that nervous, anxious energy that's in my stomach, it's in my gut. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel at ease. My appetite may be barely there, right? I'm paying attention to how my body feels and how this emotion shows up in my body. Is there a heaviness in my chest, right? Where is the tightness? Do I feel tightness in my hips? We hold a lot of emotions in our hip area, and it's just good to know. You got to be able to tap into your body. When we've had a lot of traumatic experiences, sexual abuse, different things like that, we disconnect with our bodies as well. And so just being able to connect, to reconnect with your body, to know where these emotions show up for you. Are they in your heart space? Is it in your root chakra, right? Is it in the root, the hip area? What is it that I'm holding on to? And what does my body do? How does my body respond to this emotion, right? When you're happy, how does that feel in your body? When you're sad, how does that feel in your body? Is it heavy, right? How's your energy, right? Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Reconnect. Listen to the cues of your body. Our bodies communicate with us what we're feeling. But if we're disconnected, we're not really paying attention, right? And then I want you to explore the root. Explore where this feeling is coming from, right? So if I'm anxious, what is the fear? What is the worry? What is it that I am lacking? What is it that I am doubtful about? What is it that keeps me from living in the present moment? Okay, what am I holding on to? Is it something in the past? Is it something in the future? And why? Why is it hard for me to sit and be in the present moment? So important that we tap into that. So important that we learn why we do the things that we do. Again, a lot of the things that we do are rooted in our childhood experiences, are rooted in how we were raised, the environments we grew up in, our relationships with our parents, and our relationships with our family members and friends growing up, okay? Who taught us that this was okay? if you're a people pleaser, who taught me that I needed to work for approval, that I needed to do certain things and perform in certain ways to show up, right? I want you to explore the root of why we do the things that we do. So important if you are a person who is valuing healthy connections, if you are on your healing journey. You are unlearning certain behaviors. You are unlearning certain things that you do, certain patterns that you had, certain things that we might have learned growing up, right? You're learning a new way of thinking and a new way of being. So it is important that you learn and explore the root so that then you know why and you know how to show up in a healthier way, right? It's not that we're showing up right or wrong. It's just we want to show up in a healthier way to have healthier connections with ourselves and then with other people, right? A therapist is great for that. Having somebody to help you navigate any traumas that you've gone through will help you as you learn how to sit with these uncomfortable emotions. What happens is it may bring up traumatic reminders for us, right? Our bodies are triggered in certain ways, and so having somebody that you can navigate the experience with is recommended. That is something that you can do in therapy. Explore the root, y'all. Explore why it is that you feel how you feel and why we're showing up the way that we show up. Okay, if we're avoidant, why? What is it that you're avoiding? What is the long-term effect of avoiding whatever it is that you got to do, right? We got to be able to sit with ourselves. We got to be able to ask ourselves these tough questions. And this is your experience, right? This is you. It's not like you got to walk around with a shirt on, shout out to my shirt, that says, you know, I'm depressed or I'm feeling away. Like, this is for you to acknowledge who you are and to live in your truth. So many people are just walking around not in tune with what they're feeling, or they know they're feeling a certain way, but they're not walking in, making the changes to do what's necessary to show up differently. But it's okay, y'all. We are all on this journey together. We are all on this self-care and wellness journey together. We are all on this mental health journey together. But mental health and wellness is real. Being able to acknowledge that you need to make some changes in your life is real. Being able to acknowledge that you need more self-care tools and techniques is real. This is how you will maintain. This is how you will keep going in your life, right? But we have to be able to acknowledge that there are things that we're doing that we may not be satisfied with, or we may be living for other people in our lives, and it's time for us to start showing up for us, right? It's time to prioritize you and what you want and how you feel and how you want to live your life, okay? We've lived for other people for too long, right? And it's time. It's time. So, the last step, really important step, I do not take this step lightly. We have to be able to let go of the self-criticism, right? And embrace yourself with kindness and compassion. Y'all, we did not raise ourselves, right? You could not raise yourself. Or maybe you grew up too fast and you felt like you had to. But regardless of that, you were not responsible for raising yourself, right? What we learned is what we learned. It is okay to acknowledge mistakes. Mistakes are a part of life. Mistakes are a part of growing. Lessons are meant to be learned in our life experiences. That is what life is. Okay? We have to be able to acknowledge that we grew up a certain way, we live a certain way. Maybe this isn't the best way that I want to live, and it's okay for me to pivot. The word of the day is pivot. It is okay for you to pivot. It's okay for you to adjust. It is okay for you to change. It is okay for you to start over. It is okay for you to let go of a job, situation, environment, city, relationship, friendship. It is okay for you to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Okay? As you're growing, as you're healing, and as you're learning, you will let go of the things that no longer serve you. This is part of evolution. It is okay. Acknowledge what you learned in the experience. Acknowledge that every opportunity to live your life is a learning experience, and acknowledge when it no longer serves you. At some point it did, but it's okay if it no longer serves you anymore. We have to be able to pivot. We have to be able to release. We have to do the things that keep us vibrating at a higher frequency, right? What does that mean? That means if I know that certain things weigh me down, bring me down, make me unhappy, zap my energy, things that are draining to me, things that aren't serving me, things that don't fill my cup, then I may need to make some adjustments, because what that leads to is a life of not being satisfied, right? I'm not at peace. I'm not happy. That leads to depression. That leads to sadness. That leads to us feeling stuck, feeling isolated, all of these things, y'all. But you're not alone, right? Pivot, change, evolution, growth is a part of life. Sit with that, let it marinate, tune into who you are, tune into your emotions, be real with yourself, be honest with you. When it's not working for you anymore, what are you going to do about it, right? Are you going to speak up for yourself? These are your moments to learn how to use your throat chakra, how to speak what you feel, how to express yourself, how to tell people what you need, and how to move forward. How to learn how to live in your truth. Your emotions are there for a reason. They are guiding you. Your emotional guidance system is what I like to call it. It is there for a reason. It is there to teach you and to show you something's off, something's not in alignment, and then your body is there along the way. Now, sometimes if you have trauma and if you have experiences, y'all, sometimes we have to fact check, right? We have to be able to know if we're tripping, right? You got to be able to know what it is you're feeling and why. That's why slowing down to tune into yourself is so important. So then you know how to move forward. We aren't being impulsive. We're not, responding in an emotional way to life. But we need to know what we're feeling so that we know what to do. That's it. Short and sweet. You want to make sure that you're in alignment with who you are and what you're supposed to be doing in your life. Right? That's my piece, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Again, please share, tap in, send this to somebody who you feel like can benefit from this message. We're gonna get back into it. I am feeling energized. I am feeling motivated. I am feeling excited. I have my retreats coming up, my wellness retreats. The first one is in a few weeks in Tulum, and I'm excited. So tap in, share, follow your girl. Everything is therapy with Rikki. Tune in next week, and I look forward to holding space for you as we navigate this journey called life, y'all. Peace and love.